So we're going to be focusing on the graphic designs of our banking organisations for this lecture. To start with, we have capital 1. So 1, of course, being the singularity, which is how Satan has always perceived himself. The all-inclusive, all-occurring, all-empowering number 1. So you can interpret this as two things: D for devil, or one of the many rings of Saturn. Now, I know how silly it is when I point out things like this being a D for devil, especially considering it's red, but this is how immature these fucks are. So it might seem, as I say, like I'm reaching at times, but you will see more and more with each video that I make that it just occurs too often for it to be a reach. Next, we have Alliance Leicester. So again, the cube worship, although they haven't put a lid on this one, whatever's inside Pandora's box can exit it and enter whoever it is that joins this bank. You see, again, I know it sounds silly, but you have to understand that every symbol, every sign is a sigil. Now, what sigils do, they gather attention, they gather interest, and they gather energy, and it adapts it, it adjusts it, okay, so that others can invoke it and use it when needed, when necessary. They're very greedy, so they don't just take what they need ever. They always take everything that they can, every chance that they get, which is why they will do anything they can to obtain as much energy as inhumanly possible. Moving on, more cube worship. This one is from Alliance Leisure. The cube within the cube, as I said before, you take a cube apart, you get a cross. This is where the phrase to double cross someone comes from. The double cross a cube inside a cube. Okay? This is what Satan does to every single one of us every single day. He double crosses us. You also see the orange here for the number 33. And the diamond, which is also part of gematria, meaning 33. More Saturn worship here, another logo made by Alliance Leisure. They just can't get enough of this, really, can they? Again, orange with the ring, and I imagine this would be the moon, the Saturn moon matrix, in the cube. Okay. Here we see Metro Bank. They're using the diamond once again, as I just mentioned. In gematria, it's 33. I've always perceived this bottom bit here to be very symbolic of a snake's mouth, the serpent's mouth, Lucifer's mouth, holding the design of this diamond, which very obviously shows a cubed / globed Earth. So that would be Satan's grip on this world. Here we see CTB, the Commonwealth Trade Bank. As I mentioned many a time, the lion symbolises the king of the jungle, who is also, as the scripture goes, the king of this world, who is Satan. You'll also notice with each of these sigils that they love to stick to red and blue. Every now and then they'll throw an extra colour in, but majority of the time, predominantly of the time, it will be blue or red. I don't think at this point I need to go into why, if you've watched any of my previous work. So this is the standard chartered bank logo. This can be interpreted one of two ways. The most obvious, I will say, and state first, which would be the two singular strains that join together to make a DNA strand. As I've always said, our bodies are the temple, which is why they are constantly trying to find new ways to dismantle them. They want to add their own two strains to our DNA so they can alter their chromosomes and live forever. This is part of the trans-humanism movement. It might seem silly, as I said before, but I want to get it across without it coming across as a double cross. I want you to see why they would use sigils in the banking system. You see, this world runs on the currency of money, so they believe by gathering the energy from these sigils, it will help them make more money. You see, you look at it like that, as I always say, it's more scientific than mystic or mythic. Okay? So here we see the Bank of Scotland. I believe this to be, almost the last one. Yeah, the Bank of Scotland. X symbolising Saturn once again, and the four corners, which could be also interpreted as north, south, east and west, or earth, air, fire and water. It's all black magic, brothers and sisters. The sooner you realise that, the better for all of us, and the worse for all of them. Here we see the logo for Lloyd's TSB. Again, it's always blue, it's always red. They may throw in an extra colour. Here we see green mixed with the blue. Green is the heart chakra, as I say. It's all to gather our energy so that they don't have to use so much of their own. Black horse, of course, resembling one of the four horsemen and horses of the apocalypse, the black being death. Here we have the Bank of Yorkshire, the two pillars side by side of the consistency cycle wheel once again to reincarnate us back into this matrix, to fuel the artificial intelligence that's all around us in this lifetime. You see, it's also not only fashioned as a pentagram, but also a wheel. What happens when wheels get stuck in ditches? They can't escape, right? Just like us in this wheel. The Royal Bank of Scotland, playing reverse chaos magic in this logo. Bring it in rather than casting it out. Because with these sigils, they work as beacons to receive. Fashioning the blue once again. And once again, the blue fashioning in this logo, except here we have Barclays showing us the phoenix. Now the phoenix is a bird of fire. I believe not only is this blue for the reasons already put in place and the opinions that I've already given to why they've been put in place, I also believe it's been made blue because of the earliest depictions of Satan having skin of blue tint. It was never red because his actions are as ice cold as his heart. And so, whenever you see fire or hear fire to be associated with Satan, remember it's not warmth, it's light. That's why they use it. The phoenix was a bird of fire, a bird of light. But that light is false. And it rose from the ashes after falling as Lucifer. Next we have HSBC, again fashioning the chaos magic, this time broadcasting and receiving. You also see here the hourglass, which is part of the cube worship, of course. The X for Saturn. Not to mention the 6 triangles, 2 of which being white, which of course again the masculine and the feminine meeting to become one. Hence the capital 1 in the first slide. NatWest speaks pretty much for itself here. We have it all. We have the red, we have the blue, we have the cube worship, which happens to be 3, 3 being the number to symbolise Saturn, and the triangle in the middle. You'll also see the vortex here, which again, very reminiscent of the consistency cycle. Halifax, very obvious, big fucking slash of an X in the middle for Saturn. They even have an extra X, of course, being part of the word. Now remember, Halifax starts with a H, so why on earth would they need to use an X for their symbol? Wouldn't it be a H? Ask yourself. So yeah, an X and an X is a cube and a cube, which is a cross and a cross, the double cross once again, which every bank loves to do to us British folk, which is why we're all skint. Nationwide, the box, the blue, and the eagle. Again, as I always say, the eagle is not an eagle. They use an eagle because it stands for pride and bravery and loyalty and justification of judgment. It's not an eagle. It's a vulture. Vultures prey. They're predatory. And the vulture symbolism goes way back and comes from the vril, which is the reptilian agenda. Last but not least, we have Santander. They also, in my opinion, would be the last bank you'd want to join with. So, red this time, we see the flame rising out of the pit. It's not a flame, it's not fire, it's light, false light. You also see 2 stripes, again the 2 rings, going one way and the white stripes interweaving, going the other way. As above, so below, the joining of the 2. So, there we have it. Don't trust your money, don't trust your banks, and do not trust anything that asks you to trust it. If it was trustworthy, it wouldn't need to, would it? Hope you've all enjoyed. Stay safe, be careful,